Hi, welcome again to this FI-WARE course. Today we will secure our APIs using OAuth 2.0 in FI-WARE. In previous classes we have seen an overall introduction with theoretical information, we made our first steps in FI-WARE account, we secured our web application, authenticate our users also in native applications, and today we will secure these applications using FI-WARE. Okay, so we will use a component in FI-WARE that is the PEP proxy. We will send it all the information that we need in our APIs, in our unsecure resource providers, and we will also send the access token to the PEP proxy, which will validate the token. Okay, so we will start using it today. We will download it and install it and configure it to be used in our APIs and to authenticate our users. So we will start from the beginning as usual. We will authenticate our user in FI-WARE account, put in their credentials. This the keylogger user. Okay, the username, the password, and let's see our home page. Here we have our application that we created in previous classes, also the organization, and we will change today this application. We will add a new API and we will secure this API using the PEP proxy. Okay, so here we have our application, the server, that is the blog. Okay, and today we will change it. We will add this new API. Okay, here we have the code. We have to add HTTPS support, and now we will add a new URL in the blog that will respond with all the posts in the blog in a JSON format. Okay, so we will add this new feature, and then we will check if it is working, and finally we will secure it using the PEP proxy. Okay, so first of all, we will redirect to the authentication system in case the user requests this new URL. Okay, and it doesn't have the token, the token or the cookie. Okay, and we add also the functionality for this new URL. As I said before, we will respond with all the posts in JSON format. Okay, so it's like the rest of the URLs. Okay, here we obtain the request from the user. We will retrieve all the posts in our system. Okay, and now we have to format them. Okay, so as it is JSON, we will create a string from this JSON. Okay, and we will send the response to the user. It's quite easy. Okay, well, here we have the information, so now we will start the application. Okay, we have to start it using privileges, so we will use the root user. Okay, it's started now, and we can get the index.json. Now it's unsecured. Okay, so every request will we will respond to every request. Okay, in the blog. So it's an unsecured API. Imagine that we don't know how to secure it. So now we will use the PEP proxy and we will put it in front of this API to secure every request. Okay, we will see how to send requests to this proxy. So now we have to copy the PEP proxy. This is the URL. We are using Git, but you can also download the code. Once we have downloaded, we install all the dependencies. It is implemented in Node.js, so we will use npm. And now we change the configuration. Okay, here we have the configuration about the FI-WARE account, but we have also we will change with information about our server that is on localhost. Okay, so now we see the server. This is the code of the PEP proxy. It's open source. You can check it and you can even change it. We will change the port because we are listening on the same port for the blog, and we will put the PEP proxy on port 8080. Okay, so now we have running this PEP proxy. Okay, and if we try to access the same URL through this proxy, it says that we don't have an OAuth token, an access token. So we have to create a native application to access this new API. Okay, so let's start from scratch. We will base on the same on the same information, on the same code that in which we made requests in our previous class using the resource owner grant. Okay, and once we have the token in that application, we will send it, we will use it to make the request to the PEP proxy. So we have here the new function to which we pass this access token. Okay, and we will start in this function. We will make another request to our API, but using the PEP proxy. We will use the endpoint of the PEP proxy instead of the unsecured API. In a production environment, our API would be in a private IP, and the PEP proxy will be in a public IP, accessible from everywhere. Okay, so the information about the token is on the authorization header, and it's formatted in base64 also. Okay, and here we have the options of our request, in which we have the hostname of the PEP proxy in this case and the port, right? The path is the URL we want to access, right? And the header, the method that is a get. We want to retrieve information, and the headers in which we will add the authorization. In this case, we are using the bearer authentication. It's part of the OAuth standard, and here we have the token in base64 format. Okay, we will tell our application to respond with a JSON format. Okay, and now we will send this info, this request. Okay, the response is more or less the same as we did for retrieving the access token. In this case, we will retrieve the JSON. We will retrieve all the posts from our application, because the proxy will redirect our request to our application, to our blog system, and it will answer with all the data. Okay, so okay, we have to change the function because we called it make request. Okay, we have the access token, we format it using the authorization, and we send all information. We already have the client ID and client secret, and we have everything in order. So now we will call our native application, we'll run it to call our new API using the PEP proxy to authenticate our system. So we use our username, the password, we retrieve the token, okay, and with that token we make the request to the PEP proxy. In this case, the PEP proxy validates the token against the IDM, and it will redirect the request to it will forward the request to our blog. So we have here the response. And that's all. Thank you for attending again this class, and see you on the next one. Bye.